Welcome to English Practice and Podcasts. Anna and Mark here.
We're so glad you could join us.
We really are, because today we are tackling one of the biggest, most frustrating challenges for anyone learning English.
Absolutely. If you've ever felt like you can read and understand perfectly well, but then you freeze when it's time to speak, this conversation is for you.
Yeah, today we're going to get into the details of the best way to quickly learn spoken English.
And that word, spoken, is so important. We're not talking about acing a grammar test or writing a perfect essay.
No.
Our mission today is all about moving you from that silent understanding to, real confident speaking.
And we're going to give you practical daily methods to get there, because we know those pain points so well.
Oh, yeah. So many of you have put in the hours. Hundreds, maybe thousands of them. You can read a complex article, you can follow most of a movie.
But then someone asks you a simple question in a cafe, and all the words just vanish. It's that feeling, that trap of the words being stuck right behind your lips. That is the barrier we're here to break down today.
Exactly. That gap between passive knowledge and active skill. That's where learners get stuck for years.
Right. They have the knowledge, but not the actual skill of communication.
So our goal is to give you a simple, actionable system to bridge that gap, to move you from just reading and listening to actually speaking with fluency.
Okay, let's get into it. To fix this, we first have to understand why the old ways, the way we all learned in school, why they don't work for speaking. So let's talk about that common learning path. The school approach.
The one we all know.
Yeah, it's all about studying grammar rules for weeks, memorizing long lists of words you barely use.
Doing exercises in a workbook. Very structured, very artificial.
And maybe, if you're lucky, you have a short scripted conversation once a month.
And after 5, maybe 10 years of that, you go to an English-speaking country and you can't have a simple, natural chat with a barista.
Right. We call that the school trap. It treats English like a subject, like history or math.
Where it's all about collecting knowledge, facts and rules.
And that's where we hit the real problem, isn't it? This is the fundamental disconnect that blocks fluency.
It is. It's the difference between knowledge and skill.
They're just not the same thing.
Not at all. They're handled by completely different parts of your brain. Speaking is a skill.
Okay, so it's more like riding a bike or playing an instrument.
Exactly like that. Think about learning to drive a car. You can read the manual cover to cover. You can memorize every single rule of the road.
You know all the speed limits, how the engine works.
Right, that's all knowledge. But does that mean you can drive?
No, not until you get in the car and actually do it.
You have to physically practice. You have to coordinate your hands and feet. You have to feel the car move. That is a skill. It's procedural memory.
And language is the same. Just knowing the rules isn't enough to make your mouth produce the sounds quickly.
Precisely. You can know all 12 English tenses inside and out. You can explain the third conditional perfectly.
But when you're in a fast-moving conversation,
You hesitate. You stall. You stay silent.
why is that? Why does that happen?
Because your brain is stuck in the knowledge pathway, the analytical part. It's trying to consciously apply rules, which is slow.
It's not using the motor pathway that controls the physical act of speaking.
Yes. Your grammar rules are in your declarative memory for facts. But speaking, moving your tongue and lips in complex patterns, that's procedural memory. It's a muscle you have to train.
Okay, that makes so much sense. And let's look at the flip side of that, which I think is a huge relief for a lot of learners. You can go to any English-speaking city, and you'll hear people speaking fluently, having complex conversations.
But they're making grammar mistakes all the time.
All the time. They might say something like, "She done good," or "I go there yesterday."
And is that a problem?
No, not at all. Everyone understands them perfectly.
Because their communication skill is high, even if their theoretical knowledge has some gaps, the meaning gets through instantly.
And the listener's brain it focuses on the meaning and ignores the small errors.
Which brings us to the best example of all, how children learn.
Ah, yes. The child analogy. It's so simple, but it just completely flips the academic approach on its head.
It does. I mean, how do babies learn to talk?
They don't study grammar books.
Of course not. They listen constantly. They repeat sounds. They make thousands of mistakes for years.
And most importantly, they try to speak every single day.
It's pure skill building. It's listening and imitating, not analyzing rules.
But as adults, we have this analytical brain that gets in the way. We overthink everything. So how do we adopt that childlike approach?
We have to make a conscious choice, a shift. If your goal is spoken English, real communication.
Then speaking has to be the center of your practice.
Every single day, you have to move out of the library and into the gym. It's about doing, not just knowing.
That's a huge mental shift for people who've always been taught that getting a good test score is what matters. Okay, so if we accept that speaking is a physical skill we have to practice, the next big piece is, well, it's the mindset, isn't it?
It's maybe the most important piece.
It's this one big idea that if you can really embrace it, it changes everything. It takes away so much of the stress and the fear.
And that idea is your goal is communication, not perfect English.
It's just communication.
Can people understand you? That's it. We have to get rid of that paralyzing fear of making a mistake. That fear, that little voice in your head, that's the real enemy of fluency.
So what's happening in our brain when we're trying to be perfect all the time?
You're running everything through a conscious grammar filter. You're thinking, is this the right word? Is this the right tense? Should I use a or the?
And that takes time.
It takes precious milliseconds. It's a huge cognitive load. It's like your brain is buffering, like a slow video. And that buffering is the opposite of fluent speech.
So why should we just stop caring so much about being grammatically perfect?
Because native speakers aren't grading you. They're not grammar police. Honestly, they probably won't even notice most of your small mistakes. Really. Because when they're listening, they're focused on the meaning of what you're saying. Their brain is designed to fill in the gaps and get the message.
Okay, give us an example.
Let's say a learner says, next week, I must to go London for job interview.
Okay, a couple of clear errors in there.
Right, must to go and the missing article. But what did you, as a listener, actually hear?
I heard you're going to London next week for an interview.
Exactly. You got the full meaning instantly. You didn't stop and think, an infinitive error. Your brain just corrected it automatically.
The message got through. That was the point.
Native speakers just want to understand you. They don't care about your grammar report card. And that leads to this huge mental shift, what we call the great question swap.
Okay.
You have to stop asking yourself, is this sentence perfectly correct?
And instead, you start asking.
Can someone understand what I'm trying to say?
If the answer is yes, then you've succeeded.
You've communicated, your job is done.
Okay, but I can hear the perfectionists out there worrying. They're thinking, if I stop caring about mistakes, won't I just learn bad habits that I can never fix?
That's a very common and very valid concern, but it's based on a false idea.
Which is?
The real bad habit is silence. The real bad habit is freezing and not speaking at all. A temporary grammar mistake is it's a small price to pay to keep the conversation moving.
So you build the fluency first, and then you polish it later.
Exactly. You can't polish silence. You have to get the engine running first. Once you can speak confidently and quickly, then you can go back and start refining your grammar.
So mistakes are actually good.
They are the engine of progress. You should try to make mistakes. A mistake is just feedback.
That's data.
It's data. If you say something and the other person looks confused or they repeat it back to you correctly, boom, you just got a powerful real-time lesson that's so much more effective than reading a rule in a book.
Right. If you stay silent because you're afraid of making a mistake, you learn absolutely nothing.
Zero.
So we need to embrace the broken grammar.
Yeah.
Realize that even native speakers stumble and rephrase things all the time.
All the time. The goal is progress, not perfection.
Okay. That mindset shift is so important. But now we need to get into the practical side.
Yeah.
The nuts and bolts of it. What's the actual strategy?
Right. What's the fastest method? And it doesn't rely on being a genius. It relies on two simple, consistent things.
It's not about huge, long study sessions once a week.
No, that's the fastest way to burn out. The brain needs small, regular practice to build those new pathways. So the secret is consistency. The fastest method is, number one, daily listening.
And number two?
Daily speaking.
And the key word there is daily.
That's the entire foundation. It's everything.
Well, why? Why is 10 minutes every day so much better than, say, 2 hours on a Saturday? That kind of goes against how we're taught to study for tests.
It does, but it's all about how the brain learns a physical skill. It's neuroscience. When you practice, you're creating new connections between your neurons.
Okay.
But the process of making those connections strong and permanent, moving them into long-term memory, that happens while you sleep.
So it consolidates overnight.
Right. If you only practice on a Saturday, those new weak connections start to fade by Tuesday or Wednesday. When you come back next Saturday, you spend the first half of your session just rebuilding what you lost.
You're just trying to get back to where you were last week.
Exactly. But if you practice for 10 minutes every day, you reinforce those connections daily. They get stronger and stronger. The progress is exponential.
Okay, so let's break that down. First, daily listening. And you make a really key point here. It has to be real English, not the audio from a textbook.
Right. Textbook audio is the enemy of fluency.
Why? What's so bad about it?
Well, first, it's usually super slow, and every single sound is perfectly pronounced.
Which isn't how people actually talk.
Not at all. And second, it uses these grammatically perfect sentences that you just don't hear in real conversations. Real English is fast, it's messy, it's full of slang and contractions like gonna instead of going to.
So listening to textbook audio is like training for a marathon by only ever walking slowly on a treadmill.
Perfect analogy. You're training your ear for a language that doesn't actually exist in the real world.
So what should people be listening to instead? What's the good stuff?
You want to find things that sound like natural, unscripted conversations. Podcasts are great. You could start with something for learners like 6-Minute English from the BBC.
But then quickly move on to real native content.
Exactly. Interviews on YouTube are fantastic, or just daily life podcasts where the hosts are just chatting. TV shows with English subtitles can also be good.
Okay, but here's the big problem. When a learner makes that switch, they go from understanding everything in the textbook to maybe 30% of a real podcast. That feels awful.
It does feel awful, and you have to be okay with that feeling. You have to accept that you're not going to understand everything at first. That is normal.
And it's okay.
It's more than okay. Your brain is doing really important work, even when you're not consciously understanding.
So what is my brain learning if I don't even know what they're saying?
It's learning the music of the language.
Oh.
3 key things.
Okay.
First, the rhythm and stress. English is a stress-timed language, so some words are emphasized and others are kind of swallowed. Your brain is learning that pattern.
Second.
Pronunciation and how words link together. You learn that did you eat sounds like did ye eat. You can't learn that from a book.
And the third thing.
You start to recognize natural phrases or chunks of words that always go together. Your brain is building this huge audio library of what real English sounds like, which makes it so much easier to speak it later.
Okay, so input is critical, but listening alone won't make you a speaker.
No, listening alone just makes you a great listener. You have to do the other half, daily speaking.
And this has to start from day one.
From the very beginning, there's no, I'll wait until I'm ready excuse.
Because you'll never feel ready.
Never. The moment you start making sounds, even if they're wrong, that's when the real learning curve kicks in. You're activating the motor pathways.
Let's get really practical here. A lot of people live alone or don't have anyone to practice with. What can they do?
We are so lucky with technology now. The number one thing I recommend is talking to an AI.
Like a chatbot or voice assistant.
Exactly. 10 to 20 minutes a day. It's instant practice. There's no judgment. It's infinitely patient. You can make mistakes and nobody cares.
That's a great low-pressure way to start. What else?
You can record yourself. This is so powerful. Just narrate what you're doing. I'm making coffee. I'm looking out the window. Then listen back to it.
And what does that do?
It makes you your own coach. You start to hear your own patterns, where you pause too much, your pronunciation issues. It's amazing for self-correction.
And for real human interaction.
There are language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk. Find a serious partner, spend 15 minutes on English, 15 on their language.
Or join a speaking club, online or in person.
Yes. The key with all of these is the consistency.
It always comes back to that.
10 minutes of focused speaking every day is 1,000 times better than one long class every week. You're building a habit. You're telling your brain, this is important. We do this every day.
All right, now we get to the techniques that I think are the real game changers. If you only remember 2 things from our whole conversation, it should be these.
I agree. These are the accelerators. Shadowing and learning in phrases.
They move you beyond just being functional and into sounding, well, natural.
Let's start with the one that feels like a workout for your mouth. Shadowing.
Okay, define shadowing for us. What is it exactly, and why does it feel so weird when you first try it?
Shadowing is when you speak at the exact same time as an audio recording. You're literally trying to be the speaker's shadow, overlapping their voice by just a fraction of a second.
So you're not pausing and repeating. You're talking over them.
Exactly. And it feels weird because you're forcing your mouth to move at a speed and rhythm it hasn't mastered yet. It's like trying to run full speed when you're still learning to jog.
That does sound really hard.
Right.
Why not just pause and repeat? That seems easier.
Pausing and repeating is good, but it's different. It still gives your brain time to think and analyze. Shadowing speaking at the same time forces a direct link between your ear and your mouth.
It bypasses the grammar checker.
It completely bypasses
All
it.
right.
You're training your mouth to produce the sounds automatically based on what you hear. It's pure procedural practice.
Okay, walk me through the steps. How do I do this for 10 minutes a day?
Okay, step 1. Find a short audio clip. 30 seconds to a minute is perfect. A podcast, a YouTube clip, something you find interesting.
Right.
Step 2. Listen to it once just to understand the general meaning. Don't worry about the details.
Got it.
Step 3, and this is the important part. Play it again and speak at the same time. Chase the speaker's voice. Try to match their speed, their rhythm, their pronunciation.
Without pausing.
Without pausing. The goal is momentum. You're training your physical system to keep up with a native speaker.
And what exactly is this training? What skills am I building?
4 crucial things. 1, pronunciation and how words connect. You're forced to say, I want to go, instead of I want to go.
Okay. 2.
Speed. You are physically breaking your old, slow, hesitant speaking habits.
3.
Confidence. The act of producing rapid speech, even if it's messy, builds the muscle memory and reduces that fear of speaking.
And what's the 4th thing?
This is the secret sauce. You copy the intonation and emotion.
The music of the language.
Exactly. If the speaker sounds excited, you try to sound excited. If they sound serious, you sound serious. You're learning how to convey meaning with your tone of voice, not just your words.
That's fascinating. So much of communication is nonverbal, even the verbal parts.
It stops you from sounding like a robot.
And you said it should feel uncomfortable at first. That feeling is a good sign.
It's the best sign. Discomfort means your brain is being challenged. It's being forced to build new pathways. If it feels easy, you're not learning anything new.
And all this in just 10 to 15 minutes a day.
It's the most high-impact 15 minutes you can spend. It can totally transform your speaking in just a few weeks. ###B. Learning phrases, not single words. Thinking in chunks.
Okay, that's shadowing. What's the second secret weapon?
Learning in phrases, not single words. We have to stop thinking of language as individual bricks of vocabulary.
I remember memorizing these long lists of advanced words, and then I had no idea how to actually use them in a sentence.
That's the problem. Native speakers don't build sentences one word at a time. We think in chunks.
In phrases.
Pre-made phrases like, on the other hand, or to be honest, or I used to. Our brains treat these like one single unit.
So it's more efficient.
Way more efficient. It reduces the mental effort. If you learn the chunk I'm looking into, the grammar is already built in. You just have to add the last piece. You're not thinking about the present continuous tense. You're just using the phrase.
It automates the process.
It does. And these phrases are so useful. They can be fillers that buy you time to think or connectors that help your ideas flow.
Let's give some examples. What are some of these power phrases?
Okay, let's group them by function. First, you have phrases to buy you thinking time, the buffers.
Like.
The thing is, or to be honest, or what I mean is...
Let me put it this way.
Perfect. They all give you a few seconds to organize your main idea.
Okay, what's another category?
Phrases for giving opinions or expressing doubt. The softeners. Things like, I'm not sure, but, or in my view.
If you ask me.
Exactly. They make your opinions sound more polite and less aggressive.
And then you have the connectors, right, to link ideas.
Right. On the other hand, as far as I know, by the way, they are the glue that holds the conversation together.
I use those all the time without even thinking about it.
And that's the point. They are the infrastructure of fluent speech. And when you use them, you instantly sound more natural.
So practically, how should someone learn these?
Don't memorize a huge list. Pick 5 useful phrases a day. Say them out loud over and over. And then, this is the key, try to use them in your speaking practice that day.
You have to activate them.
You have to use them. 5 phrases a day used actively is so much better than memorizing 50 words you'll never say.
Okay, we have to talk about the biggest habit that kills fluency. I think it's the hardest one to break.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Translating in your head.
Ugh, yes. That slow, painful process of thinking of the sentence in your native language, translating each word, then trying to apply English grammar.
It guarantees you will speak slowly. It's a cognitive traffic jam.
It really is. The moment you catch yourself hesitating, using a lot of ums and us, that's a sign that the translation machine is running in your head.
And it's slowing you down. The solution is to train your brain to think directly in English.
But how do you even start doing that? My inner voice is in my native language.
You start simple. Very simple. When you're practicing, just describe what you're doing in the simplest English you know. I am walking. I see a tree. The tree is green.
It feels a bit childish, but it's training your brain.
It's training your internal monologue to operate in English without needing to translate complex ideas. You build the habit with simple thoughts first.
But what happens in a real conversation when you need a specific word and you just don't know it? That's when I want to stop and look it up on my phone.
And that's the moment that kills the conversation flow. Stopping is the enemy.
So what do you do instead?
You describe it. You talk around the word. You use the simple English, to explain the complex idea.
So you keep the momentum going.
Always. You can use phrases to help you do this.
Like what?
It's a thing you use for, and then describe what it does. Or, I don't know the word, but it looks like. Or, it's a kind of.
That's how native speakers talk when they forget a word. If I can't remember the word whisk, I'll say, that metal thing you use to beat eggs.
Exactly. That is fluency.
So fluency isn't about knowing every single word.
No. Fluency is the ability to keep the conversation moving forward, even when you have gaps in your knowledge. It's about being resourceful. It's about not getting stuck.
Okay, we've covered so much. The mindset, the techniques, the habits to break. Let's pull it all together now into a simple, daily plan that people can actually do.
Yes, something that fits into a busy schedule. We have to remember that consistency is so much more important than duration.
Showing up every day is the key.
Let's lay out a 25-minute power routine. Maximum impact, minimum time.
I love it. What does it look like?
We call it the daily fluency loop. It has 3 parts.
Okay, part 1.
5 minutes of listening, real English. A podcast, an interview. Don't stop, don't look up words, just train your ear to the sound and rhythm.
Okay, 5 minutes of input. What's next?
10 minutes of shadowing. This is your high-intensity workout. Pick a short clip and speak along with it. Focus on speed, intonation, and matching the emotion. This is where you build the muscle memory.
So we have input, then we have execution. What's the last part?
The last 10 minutes are for speaking. Your output. Talk to an AI, record yourself, talk to a partner.
And in this part, you should try to use the new phrases you've been learning.
Yes, this is your test run. Focus on communication, not perfection. If you get stuck on a word, describe it and keep moving.
That's a great system. In less than half an hour, you've hit input, speed training, and communication practice.
And it puts speaking right at the center of the process, which is where it needs to be. If you can stick to that cycle every day, you will see progress incredibly fast.
You just have to show up.
Yeah.
Even for 15 minutes on a busy day.
That's the habit. Small, consistent effort leads to huge results. Hashtag tag tag outro.
This has been so incredibly helpful. I think we've really broken down how to achieve this. Let's do a quick recap of the essential steps for everyone listening.
Okay, number 1, speak every single day. No excuses.
Listen to real, natural English. Ditch the slow textbook audio.
Use the shadowing technique for 10 to 15 minutes daily to build speed and natural flow.
Learn phrases and chunks, not single words. Think in pre-made blocks.
Stop translating in your head. Train yourself to think in simple English.
And finally, embrace your mistakes. They are proof that you are learning.
And the final ingredient that ties it all together?
What is it?
It's just consistency. You don't need a special talent for languages. You don't need a perfect memory. You just need to show up and do the work for a few minutes every day.
That's it. It's the daily ritual that gets you there.
We want to leave you all with one last thought to think about as you start this new routine.
Go for it.
Remember that English is not a school subject to be studied. It's not something you put on a shelf.
It's a tool.
It's a tool, like a hammer or a smartphone. You wouldn't study a hammer for 5 years before you tried to hit a nail with it.
You'd just pick it up and start using it.
You'd pick it up and use it. And you'd get better by using it.
What?
So pick up this tool, start using it today. The discomfort you feel is just the skill being built.
Thank you so much for joining us for this really important conversation.
We look forward to connecting with you in our next discussion.
Goodbye for now.